Hey everyone, so today is a very special day. We are going to go ahead and start going over the Fibro Manual. I've gotten about a quarter of the way through. I absolutely adore it, but I know it can be a little intimidating, a book all about fibromyalgia, so I wanted to kind of break it down into more bite-sized pieces for y'all. So I'm going to be doing a series of videos, maybe doing a chapter or two, maybe just doing one chapter, depending on how much material we have. So let's go ahead and start with just the introduction today. So I'm just going to be kind of introducing this to you and talking about it in general. So it says Fibro Manual, a complete fibromyalgia treatment guide for you and your doctor. And that's kind of what I like best about this, is it also helps you to learn how to talk to your doctor, which for me was like the thing that I was most nervous about. So I have my notes here all about the introduction, and this is the author, Ginevra Lipton, MD, which means she's a doctor. And so let's just kind of get into it. This is the introduction for the Fibro Manual. Alright, the introduction I love. She named it the F word, which is so funny. But it is also kind of sad. She talks a lot about the discrimination for fibromyalgia patients. And so we're just going to talk about it. There's some good things, there's some bad things in this whole chapter. So the first thing is just she introduces herself. So she talks about how she developed fibromyalgia in medical school. And I really like how she put it. She just said, at first I just thought it was stress. At first I just thought I was working too hard in medical school. And I think that is the story of a lot of us. A lot of us, at first, we were just like, oh, we're just really stressed. Oh, it's just a hard time right now. So I really identified with that, and I also really appreciate that it's a doctor who has fibro, so you know automatically she's going to be sympathetic to us. So she talks about how she has fibro herself, and she also treats fibro patients. How she has experienced discrimination herself from her colleagues, from her doctors, which is just so encouraging to know that a doctor has also experienced what we have. And then she just kind of goes into general fibromyalgia. I already did a video on this, so I'm just going to be very, very brief. The first one she talks about is just this amazing painting. It's terrifying looking, which is appropriate, don't you think? So this is a painting by a Mexican painter, and she also has fibromyalgia. And I can't remember her name, so I'm going to put her name up as well as the painting. So you can see in this painting all the nails in her. You can see that she's kind of strapped. That's what I identify with. It feels like I'm strapped tightly here, but she's strapped all over the place. This is just such a good visual cue, and I think it would really help if someone just really doesn't get what we're going through. This is a good picture to show. It's like, this is how it feels. I feel like I have nails everywhere. I feel like someone's drilling a hole in my head right here. I feel like someone's strapping my lungs so it hurts to breathe. All those kinds of things I feel like are really helpful. This just visual aid is very helpful, even though it's a little disturbing. She's also naked, so just in case, if you Google her, just look at the first one or two where she's covered, because the rest she's naked. So just keep that in mind. And then she talks about fibro fog, which I identify so much with. I think I mentioned this in my other video. I was a math teacher. So I was teaching statistics and algebra And if you can imagine doing that when you have fibro fog is pretty much impossible. So I would have principals get really angry because one day I would teach really well and the next day I wouldn't, and I would get like lost in my notes. And that's what we all go through, isn't it? We just like, we're functioning one day and the next we just can't function. So that is just something I've really struggled with. So when she talked about fibro fog and her journey with it, it just like really comforted me a lot that she understands what I'm going through. And then she talks about the discrimination and why it is, which is really, it's discouraging, but it is still helpful to know where is this discrimination coming from. So she talked about how primarily women have it, so traditionally that was seen as women are more emotional, so of course they're going to complain about aches and pains, which is awful, but hopefully that's kind of turning now. She talked about something very important that I think everyone should know about fibro as soon as they get fibro. You need to know that it's what's called an orphan disease. What that means is that no one really claims it. So rheumatologists can diagnose it, neurologists can diagnose this. She says actually that her chiropractor diagnosed her, which is crazy to me. But yeah, it's rheumatological, it's neurological, it's just everywhere. And then, so basically what happened to me is my rheumatologist diagnosed me, but then she basically looked at me and legitimately told me, yes, but I don't treat it. I don't treat fibromyalgia. You have to go back to your doctor for that. Which is so discouraging. It's like, okay, so you told me I have this big scary thing, but now you won't help me? So all she does, my rheumatologist now, I only go in to get my steroid shot, which I think is every 3 months, as far as I remember. Yeah, every 3 months I just go in just to get that steroid shot. And like, I don't use her for anything else. Which is just so sad. It's like, don't you want to help me? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my particular story, but no one really claims this disease. It also could be categorized as a sleep disorder because sleep has a huge impact on it, which I talked about last week. And there's actually just whole chapters in this book about sleep. And the reason being is because it's kind of a sleep disorder. We'll talk about it. All right, and then the other thing is that a lot of alternative medicines work really well for this disease. So a lot of general doctors are not really comfortable with those kinds of treatments, which I've experienced too. Like, they're kind of skeptical when I tell them that I feel better after a steam bath. You know, like you wouldn't think a steam bath would help a disease, but it does. It really does. Massages are clinically proven to help fibromyalgia. So it's like, you need to remember that. You need to go to your doctor, 100% go to your doctor, but you need to also be prepared to help yourself and advocate for yourself and look in other places. So I went to a naturopath for a bit. If I had money, I would totally try massage therapy. Maybe one day when we're in a better living situation, we might try massage therapy weekly to see if it helps. So yeah, it's just, all of that is very discouraging, but I do want you to know the background so that you're aware going in. You're going in with open eyes, and I think that'll really help you in the end. Even though it sounds depressing, you need to know the most you can so that you can get the most help you can, okay? So let's leave off with more encouraging. Sounds good? Sounds good. All right, so more encouraging. This book is here. This book is your manual, and this book is written by someone who understands you, who has this, and who right now is in remission. So she has gone to the point where she says her fibro is still there, but it does not affect her life too much. You need to listen to some of our fibro experts, not me, but I'm working on it. I'm closer. You need to listen to these fibro experts who have had it for long enough that they've learned the tricks that they've actually gotten into remission. I don't know if remission is the right word. It's just the word I use. You need to think about that. Don't just get bogged down with the people who say, I've had this for 40 years and I don't know what to do and I'm miserable every day. You need to listen to success stories, okay? Stay positive, listen to success stories, okay? So, leaving off with encouragement, this person will help us, okay? So let's go through this book together. She's in remission. She's learned the effective treatment. She's done research. She's treated a lot of people with fibro. So let's give this book a shot, okay? So the way this book is going to be structured is it's going to have a couple of introduction chapters, which I'm probably going to do separate on their own. And then she has the 4 R's, which is her treatment plan, which is rest, repair, rebalance, and reduce, which we'll go into more detail next time. So we're going to do those 4 R's, and I may combine chapters within those 4 R's, if that makes sense. So yeah, I hope you'll come along with me for this journey. I hope you will buy this book. I'm going to link it down below because this book is wonderful. But if this book is a little overwhelming to you, let's chat together about it, okay? So buy the book, read it yourself, and then let's chat about it because I think that will be so great to have a community who's not just trying to stay positive but also doing something. Okay? So let's try to do that. It was so wonderful chatting with you. I'm so excited for this journey together. So let's go ahead and go through this book together. And remember to be encouraged. Remember to seek out encouragement from others. And remember to ask for help when you need it. Okay? All right. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.